I mean, you want to make news, don't you? You want to stay in the spotlight. We get it. RFK Jr. expected to drop out of the race by the end of the week. What does he want? RFK Jr. is expected to drop out of the presidential race by the end of this week. Sources say he may endorse Trump for a price. Here's what his VP, Nicole Shanahan, has recently said on the podcast Impact Theory.
You know, there's two options that we're looking at. And one is staying in, forming that new party, but we run the risk of a Kamala Harris and Walt's presidency because we draw votes from Trump, or we draw somehow more votes from Trump, or we walk away right now and join forces with Donald Trump, and you know, we walk away from that and we explain to our base why we're making this decision.
If I were advising her about just media training, a presentation, if this is what you believe in, I would want you to give a little more energy, force, not as many. And I do this, so yeah. Just say it. If this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing.
With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show.
Give you some of the details. Sources tell ABC News that Kennedy plans to endorse Donald Trump. But when asked directly by ABC News if he will be endorsing the former president, Kennedy said, quote, "I will not confirm or deny that." Very original. When asked specifics, Shanahan clarified. She added that she and Kennedy could walk away right now, join forces with Donald Trump, adding, "I would say that I trust the future of this country more under the leadership of Trump and Senator J.D. Vance than Harris." Newsweek giving the quote there. Sources have warned the decision is not final yet. One possible scenario being discussed right now is for Kennedy to appear on stage with Trump at an event in Phoenix Friday, though the sources caution that Kennedy's thinking could always change. Sources close to Trump say no plan for Friday is finalized. Now, it's important to tell you this. If he joins forces with Trump, is this proof RFK Jr. never cared about climate change, clean air, water, women's freedom, democracy, the rule of law? David Horn thinks so, speaking out about it. And it's a relevant question, wouldn't you think? Mm-hmm. Spokesperson for Kennedy posted on X that Kennedy will address the nation live on Friday to discuss his path forward. Okay, so he sets it up, Fran. That's the teaser. Live. I'm coming to you live on Friday. I guess my first question, and maybe it's a petty one, will anyone be tuning in? Does anyone care anymore? Has he jumped the shark? His original groundbreaking campaign?
I mean, I guess I'm one of those people that doesn't think a Kennedy running for office is all that groundbreaking or original. He's another elitist, although he claims he's not. He's a massive, wild anti-vaxxer, spreader of conspiracy theories. He has been responsible for the death of many, many people because of those things. He will be fine if he is not running or in office. Here's what happened. He approached the Harris campaign last week. We all know that. And he was like, "Hey, what's up? Is there a position in your cabinet for me?" Because he sees the writing on the wall, the energy right now, although it's not a done deal at all, is in Harrison Walz's favor. People are excited about coming out and voting for them. So he's like, "Hey, is there a cabinet position?" Clearly they didn't answer the call, and they're like, "For what, dude? Like, what are you good at? Like, we don't need a falconing expert in the White House." So he's like, "No, okay." So then he got mad, and now he's gonna do what he always was probably going to do, which was endorse Donald Trump. Now, this might otherwise scare me a little bit, but here's what I'll say. I don't think that RFK Jr. endorsing Trump will absolutely means he sheds any of the last vestige of his support, because I think a lot of people, especially maybe suburban women, who we all know that Donald Trump really wanted to get, liked RFK Jr. I remember CNN did this whole panel with a bunch of, women over a fireplace with a bunch of Chardonnay, obviously mostly white women, going like, "I don't know, I really like RFK. Yeah, he's our only choice." But that all falls away once he endorses Donald Trump, just like it fell away when Nikki Haley endorsed Donald Trump, just like it fell away when DeSantis endorsed Donald Trump. They have no other options. And whatever little base that they did build based on I am not Donald Trump, it goes away the moment that he endorses. So I think either those independent candidates, voters will not vote for anyone, vote for Kamala Harris, to be quite frank with you.
I think you're right. And I don't even think you had to clarify that there was a group of white women when you said Chardonnay. If they were sisters, it would be Moscato, okay? It would be Moscato. But I think you're right. And what rubs me here is not that he's he flocks with a certain anti-vaxxers. That's bad enough. But what gets me is you're a phony, aren't you?
Yeah.
I think David Corn's right. You don't agree with all the things that some of those suburban women thought you agreed with. You're all about, I guess, proximity to power. And we know this because when you got mad, which you're also absolutely correct about, Fran, you began leaking and negotiating out loud.
Yep.
Donald Trump, believe it or not, as bloated as he is, wasn't it? It was you, Kennedy and Shanahan. And it's an uncomfortable thing. And it's, it just has this like loser, like, or as my daughter would say, are they still saying try hard or pick me? I think they're still into it. I think it's more try hard, but he needs to have a seat. And I think you're right. The impact's not there. I don't know that he has the leverage that he's pretending or purporting to have. So I guess we'll keep watching it. And perhaps if we have room on the slate, there'll be an update after his live presser.
It's going to be live on X, isn't it? Don't you think, Sharon?
Yeah.
Of course, it'll be on X. Like it'll be a Spaces thing. Like, oh, cool.
That part, Spaces. I know one thing though. Elon's not going to sit down with him. It'll be somebody else. I don't even think Elon's going to sit down with him unless his buddy Trump says, "I'm going to sit down with this guy." I don't even know who he is. But sit down with him.